Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we are decoding the absolute chaos of modern wealth building. We're going to contrast the wildest, most absurd internet fantasies out there with an incredibly grounded, highly disciplined strategy that you can actually use to literally buy your freedom. We're living in this wild era, right? The lines between gambling, hustling, and a traditional 9 to 5 have just completely blurred. So today, we're cutting through all that noise to look at the actual reality of getting rich today. $4 million. Think about that for a second. Because in today's digital landscape, there is a very real, sure, statistically miraculous, but real path where some bored teenager can turn $100 into millions literally overnight. How? By YOLOing. Just blindly throwing all their lunch money into some ridiculous crypto meme coin right before they go to sleep. It makes zero sense. It totally defies traditional finance. But it's this perfect snapshot of the dopamine-fueled financial lottery that, let's be honest, everyone seems to be chasing right now. Seriously, just imagine waking up, checking your dusty little portfolio of forgotten trash coins, and realizing, wow, I've peaked, simply because you threw money at an internet choke. The internet is absolutely packed with these hares running around chasing that ultimate lucky strike. And hey, it's not just crypto either. It's the guy walking into a casino, putting his entire stack on black 13 times in a row, and somehow bending probability to walk out a millionaire. Or, the startup founder. The one who sacrifices all stability, surviving purely on 2-minute noodles and black coffee in a crusty bedroom, just praying for that massive $2 million tech buyout. They're all just chasing lightning in a bottle. So we have this really stark contrast. On one side, you've got these glamorous, incredibly high-risk gambles. The meme coin millionaires, the roulette daredevils, the people hoping to pull off an Oscar-worthy performance to inherit some elderly billionaire's estates, and of course, the mega-successful OnlyFans creators. To make it there, you need cosmic luck or Olympic-level digital hustling. But on the flip side, you have the reliable, completely silent grind of what we call the NPC, the non-playable character. You know how in video games an NPC just follows their pre-programmed path without ever deviating? Well, in modern finance, embracing that boring, programmed predictability, that is actually a superpower. Now, before we dive into the NPC playbook, we really need to understand why the flashy side is a massive trap for most people. Take the influencer or OnlyFans route, for example. The top 1%? Oh, they are printing money, sometimes out-earning NBA superstars without ever leaving their living rooms. But here is the crucial reality check. For every 1% pulling in millions through constant marketing and emotional manipulation, the other 99% are totally failing. They're putting themselves out there, completely raw and unfiltered, and the internet is just collectively shrugging and saying, yeah, no thanks. The risk is astronomical, and if you fail, there's really no polite fallback plan. And that brings us to the true hero of our explainer today, the NPC. If the whole viral hustle culture is about chasing dopamine hits and desperate fame, the NPC strategy is the exact opposite. This is the silent grinder. This is for the person who looks at the chaotic, flashy casino of modern wealth, turns around, and just walks away. It's a strategy that focuses purely on relentless, completely unsexy discipline. You don't complain, you don't party, and you absolutely under no circumstances spend money trying to impress people who don't even care about you. So let's nail down exactly what this looks like. The NPC method is highly accessible to anyone, no matter your starting income. Why? Because it's literally just about graduating, stepping right into a job, putting your head down, and working quietly. Sometimes, that means working 2 jobs. Sometimes it means working 7 days a week. You do what you're told, you collect your paycheck, and you run your life on a strict, unbreakable routine. The goal here isn't to chase some wild pipe dream or become a billionaire. Not at all. It's to practically guarantee your early financial freedom through extreme budgeting and a totally low-flash lifestyle. Which brings us to the actual protocol itself. This is a bare-bones budget template designed specifically so that even a low-income earner can aggressively save. Forget that standard 50-30-20 rule you always hear about. This is survival mode. Think about capping your absolute essential living expenses, like rent and utilities, at 50%, and then relentlessly driving your discretionary spending down to near zero. That way, the remaining 50% goes straight into investments. Let's talk food. We aren't talking fancy meal prep services. We are talking bulk rice, frozen veggies, and hunting for marked-down protein at the very ends of the grocery aisles. Clothing. It all comes from Temu or the furthest back discount rack at Target. And entertainment? Listen, you don't need out, period. Well, unless you have a coupon. It is a life totally stripped of all unnecessary frills. To make this super actionable, let's look at 3 essential money-saving habits for long-term success. These are the foundation of the MPC playbook. First up, run your life on a strict routine to eliminate decision fatigue. When your days are predictable, your spending is predictable. Second, never ever eat out without a coupon. You have to remove impulse spending from your social life entirely. And third, this is the absolute cornerstone. You must give every single dollar a strict purpose. You don't just save what's left over at the end of the month. No way. You dictate exactly where your money goes before it even hits your bank account. There's this stark quote from the source material that I absolutely love, and it perfectly captures the extreme mental discipline you need to sustain this lifestyle long term. Every unnecessary purchase is a betrayal of the mission. Wow. You have to understand this is a psychological game. To do this for years, you can't just be kind of trying to save a little bit of money. No, you have to treat your budget like your life depends on it, because financially speaking, it kind of does. Buying a luxury coffee or some flashy new sneakers isn't just a fun little treat. In the mind of the NPC, that purchase is actively sabotaging your own future. Now, don't mistake this for just needless suffering. The NPC knows exactly what they're doing. You are deliberately trading the flash and the flex of your youth to purchase total autonomy later on. Look, society tells you that you need to be living your best life in your 20s, right? Traveling the world, wearing designer brands, posting the most aesthetic photos online. The NPC completely rejects all of that. They recognize that chasing the mere appearance of wealth is the exact thing keeping most people completely broke. So you aren't just hoarding your money, you're actually using it to buy back your future time. And when you execute this relentlessly, the math practically guarantees an absolutely incredible payoff. Let's map it out. At year 0, you step into the job. For the next 15 to 20 years, you fully embrace the silent grind. You stick to the frozen veggies, those discount clothing racks, and the coupon dinners. You take that massive gap between your incredibly low expenses and your income, and you invest it. And then, here's the twist. You actually pull it off. By age 40, a full 2.5 decades before most people even begin to think about retiring, you are entirely debt-free and mortgage-free. The math just works. So what does the finish line actually look like here? The end result isn't a massive mega mansion or a brand new Tesla in the driveway. Instead, it is an intentional, deeply peaceful existence. You live in a small, completely paid off home. Your investments quietly spit out enough cash every single year to cover your simple lifestyle. And the best part? Your days are finally your own. You read books, you play video games, you go on long walks without ever having to check the clock. And most importantly, you have zero bosses telling you what to do. You have successfully opted out of the rat race. When we step back and compare the NPC to the average Joe, the sheer power of the NPC's extreme sacrifice becomes totally undeniable. The average Joe follows all the normal rules, right? He stresses over math class, goes to college, racks up a bunch of student debt, and slowly, painfully climbs the corporate ladder, promotion by promotion. It's a safe path. And eventually, around age 65, he retires with a net worth of about $1.8 million. It's comfortable, sure, but it takes 40 years of his life to get there. Meanwhile, the NPC takes a massive shortcut through sheer willpower. By grinding intensely for just 15 to 20 years and giving every single dollar a strict purpose, they win back the entire second half of their life. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought. The flashy paths, the meme coins, the roulette tables, the viral fame, they offer a tiny, tiny percentage of people overnight millions, while leaving pretty much everyone else totally empty-handed. The average Joe path? It offers security, sure, but it costs you 40 years of your most precious asset, your time. The NPC path offers guaranteed freedom, but it demands total, unwavering discipline and a complete rejection of modern consumer culture. So, here's the question. Do you have the mental fortitude to embrace the silent grind, ditch the dopamine hits, and truly buy your freedom? It's